Juan Chico's done a fantastic job. Deutsche Welle, great. A real professional, and we're so lucky to have her. Thank you very much. I'm very lucky to close the last forum again of the landscape talks. This is a great session, and if you've missed any of the great ones over the last 2 days, please go on. They'll be on video in a couple of days. I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to try to use 6 photographs or 6 slides to tell the story of the Global Landscape Forum and how this all came together. So we'll start. Let's see if we can. I'm going to do this in 6 minutes if I can, so I'm going to move very quickly. And there we are. The Global Landscape Forum was launched in Warsaw in 2013 alongside the COP. There was a feeling at the time among a lot of agencies, and World Bank and C4 and United Nations Environment Program and others, that we had to change the narrative of development. We had to get out of our sectors, in our case forestry, and reach across the boundaries and have a broader conversation. The lens we used to do that was the landscape approach. It dates back to geography, and I've got one of the great practitioners up there on the front row, so I got to be careful here, but Dennis Garrity. But it was launched, it started in geography in the 19th century, and then it resurfaced again in the 1980s under ecological conservation. It didn't really take off. And then we decided to bring it out again, and it spread very, very quickly, and you can see it spreading around the world now. But the idea was, what is a landscape approach? You can go to Terry Sunderland and Jeff Sayre's paper, 10 Principles of Landscape Approach, if you want the science. But I like Terry's idea of comparing it to a Miles Davis band. 4 outstanding musicians improvising, working the same direction toward one of the greatest albums of all time, The Kind of Blue. That's how the landscape approach works, and it works well. Negotiated benefits at the landscape level with multiple outcomes. It's negotiated outcomes with multiple benefits. Sorry about that. Why insects? Because we want to look at it holistically, and we're always science-led. So we had people taste grasshoppers and other insects at the Global Landscape Forum, but why is that important? It's kind of cool, it's fun, and not many of us have tasted grasshoppers and some of the other crazy things they had there that chef was putting up. But they're also eaten by 2 billion people around the world. They provide essential amino acids, active vitamin A, and B12, and they're eaten across Central Africa, and grasshoppers are disappearing. So anything we do at GLF, we have science or knowledge underlying it. And this was Global Landscape Forum 2 in Warsaw. Candido Salazar here, a great tribal leader in the Amazon, helped us understand that the rights of local people are critical to the solution of developing a sustainable landscape. Behind him over there, you just see the back of his head, is Paul Pullman. And so first rights became one of our themes. Paul Pullman there came from Unilever. He was joined by Mark Burrows. Mark told me at the time, it's great to have Paul and Mark up here up on stage. Paul and myself up stage, but you don't understand us and we don't understand you. So you got to do this differently. So we decided to launch the investment case, a symposium every year of finance professionals trying to help us find solutions to financing sustainable development. At the end of that, the other thing that was launched there was LA Initiative 2020. Part of the Bonn Challenge was launched at this conference, so restoration became one of our themes. Paul and Candido there became friends, and they created a project, and that's another thing we do at GLF, connect people. This is where we opened up our eyes to what's possible. This is a Gephi graph of the Twitter talk that was happening in Paris. We had 3,300 people there. And this is 3,000 tweeters sending 5,000 tweets to each other. Now, this idea that they only broadcast and you don't communicate, this is breaking that idea. But it also told us something else. Governor Jerry Brown, the editor of BirdLife News, Achim Steiner, these are change agents. All of you are change agents. Anyone that comes to a Global Landscape Forum is a potential change agent, if not a change agent themselves. And together they make a community of practice. Across sectors is something called landscape of practice. We also launched AFR 100 there. We launched the Partnership for Blue Carbon was launched there as well. But at that point, the German government very nicely and we hope wisely, provided us core funding after that. BMZ, Minister of Development and Minister of Environment, provided us funding to expand GLF, scale it up to 2022. Now, we're going to try to reach 1 billion people. That's pretty big. What's great about GLF is we can shift. We're not tied to any one sector, so we can work as a community and take on different issues and different problems. In this case, we're talking about peatlands. Peatlands, I'm going to get my numbers right here, but peatlands, let's see, I'll have to check my facts. Peatlands, they take in more carbon, correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, please, but they take in more carbon than all the other vegetation combined each year. But if you put a spoon in them, as my Director General Robert Nazi says, you change them forever, and they'll start emitting carbon almost immediately. And in 2015, they caught on fire. Agriculture fire spreading across Indonesia. They were pumping out 15 to 20 tons of noxious gases every single day. And that is equal to about the entire American economy in a single day. Those are terrible numbers, and it costs billions of dollars worth of damage and affect the health of a lot of people like this young person. But one of our patrons, Siti Nurbaya, the minister, came here yesterday to launch the International Tropical Peatland Center. Did we have an impact? I don't know, but we certainly contributed to it by putting a spotlight on that. And we've been working with the minister, who's just doing great, and she's reduced the haze by 20%. Youth is one of our most important arms. Absolutely incredible. It's growing very, very fast. This was the African youth group in GLF Nairobi. You can talk to some of our people. You see them around. They're really doing outstanding things. But we're more than a conference. This is the creation, the development about 3 weeks ago of the Landscape Academy that's done by Wageningen University, UN Environment, Eco-Agriculture, got to make sure I get all these right, and C4, and others to come. And we launched it yesterday. This is the online version, and 1,200 people have signed up since yesterday afternoon to take 2 of the courses there. This is going to be outstanding. We've also had courses all this week on landscapes. So what is GLF? GLF is, in my mind, a positive vision of any landscape, the Rift Valley, your neighborhood, the Bangladesh coastal areas, if we all work together. What would it look like if we all worked together, if we brought all our expertise and we brought everyone together? It's a positive forum that looks for positive solutions. We don't run away from the problems. We know what they all are, that no one knows it better than we do. But we're looking for solutions that we can accelerate the uptake everywhere in the world. And I'm just going to quote Margaret Mead with a great quote that I have on my desk at home in the office in Jakarta. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, is the only thing that ever has. Thank you very much.